Hello, welcome to day one of Vlogmas. I'm Erin, the dyer behind HennyPennyMakes, and if you already follow me, then I apologise that I've taken so long to get something up for you. It's been a long time since the last episode. Life has been crazy this last year. There's a lot been going on, and unfortunately video is like the first thing that I've had to kind of let go to make enough space to cope with everything else. But Christmas is a really special time to me, and I love watching other people's Vlogmas, so I want to try and have a go myself this year. I don't know how good it'll be, but I'll try my best to bring some festive cheer. And for the first day, rather than spoiling, so this is the 1st of December. I know a lot of people record on the 30th of November, so they have something to put up on the 1st. But the way life is, that isn't how I am. So I'm going to do 2 videos today, one for the going up on the 1st and one for going up on the 2nd, so that I don't spoil any advent calendar reveals or anything, because I wouldn't like to do that, whether it's my own advent calendar or one of the ones that I am lucky enough to be opening this year. So for today's one, the 1st of December, I thought I would share the some of the bits that I've made that are either using advent calendars or advent patterns over the years. I haven't made a lot, but I wanted to share that and what my plans are for this month, craft wise. So I'll just dive in and start showing you what I've got. The first thing, I'm lucky to be one of the dyers this year for the No Matter What Make-Along by Sandra of Imagine Landscapes. I love her gnomes, and I've made a few of them before, so I've got them here. This one is Nemo from Gnome is Where You Hang Your Hat, and then Noki from Make No Mistake. I was one of the dyers for this one as well. This is Nelly, who is from Oh Gnome You Didn't, and this is Nathan, who is Not Just Another Gnome. So these ones are just available if you haven't found Sarah's patterns before. These ones are some of her normal make-alongs or patterns, and then she does festive, well, wintry ones. Not specifically Christmas, just winter in the lead up to Christmas. She releases either a clue for the gnome or like a little bit of a story, or maybe it might be a recipe or something like that, something all connected with part of the theme of the make-along. So this was last year's one, which is Nova, and she was from Gnome Made Gifts, and she is a little bit different because she has the option to swap things around. So she has like 3 different hats. They're all really good fun and little manageable bits that you can do in the lead up to Christmas, especially when you're super busy. To be honest, I haven't managed to make one as December goes on yet, but this year I'm planning on doing it. This is one of my favourite hats. It's very cute, and she's got her own little scarf and her own little bag and everything. And my daughter loves playing with the gnomes. She likes learning their names and putting them all together, and it's very cute to listen to her playing with them. So this year's theme is, well, make-along is called No Matter What. So as I said, I was one of the dyers, and I've put together different sets which were available on the website, and I've kept this set for myself. So I'm planning on winding that up, ready for starting. The patterns are so good, really good video tutorials for anything that might be slightly tricky. There's nothing that's overly complicated, especially in the festive ones, but Sarah's tutorials are great, and they're always so much fun. And even if you don't manage to do it in the time, they're easy to pick up at any other point and just finish off. Definitely worth doing if you like trying different techniques, or you just want something that's fun. And I don't know, sometimes I love making blankets. If you know me at all, you'll know that, but blankets take forever. So it's so nice to have something quick and easy that you can just do a little section and you're like, oh, it's done already. So definitely recommend these. So that's the gnomes. That's one of the things I'm planning on working on this December. Whether that happens is a different matter, but I will get started at least. Every year I usually turn my advents into something. So this year I'm planning on doing, I can't remember what the pattern, I should have written it down, it was the one I didn't write down, but it's a cardigan by Amber O'Brien. I think it's called the Radvent cardigan, and it starts, you start with the cuffs and you work half of the cardigan, and then you do the other half from the other end of the calendar, and then join it in the middle. So hers uses 25 minis, but I'm planning on doing just a bit extra up the cuff and arm with my main colour, and then working 12 colours to the middle, and then doing the other half, especially because I already know what my colours will be, so it doesn't matter about opening them early to do that. Because I've designed a fade this year. My calendar was, I'm working with Sarah from Flower Power Fund, who raises money for Marie Curie. She's a Marie Curie doctor, and she raises money for the charity to run one of the hospices. So 20% of my calendar this year was going to the charity for everyone that was sold, and her theme for this whole year of fundraising has been 50 laps around the sun, as she is going to be 50 next year. She wanted to celebrate reaching that milestone because she obviously deals with some people that don't manage to reach that point in their life. So she wanted to have a celebration of life and all the things that are kind of important, which is what I've themed my advent around. So mine is a fade. It'll be a circular fade, so it goes right back round, so you could make anything pretty much with it. Although the colours do blend rather than stand alone, if you know what I mean. Like, they wouldn't work in a stripy design because the stripes wouldn't be obvious unless you mix them up. And even then I don't think that would really work. But I think for the cardigan it'll look really nice because it should blend right across very well. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I haven't wound the yarn yet for it, but we're getting started, but I will. And then anything that I have left over, I make little squares for making a blanket eventually. So I've only joined the squares for the very first advent calendar I did, but it's the Battenberg blanket. So instead of doing a whole blanket like that, because I found it quite overwhelming by the time I've done one before, and by the time it got to sort of this size, I was getting fed up of joining them. I'm much more of a kind of make smaller blocks and join them together kind of person. So this one's it's a little bit crumpled because it's been packed away for a while, but this was the first advent calendar. So I'm making 2 panels from each year. So I have years 2 and 3 done. Year 4 I haven't made anything with, so it's all still in here. And this year's I'm hoping to do as I'm going as well. But it's just I'm hoping eventually it'll just be in my advent blanket. It'll be a lovely thing to sit under and think about all the years that I've been dyeing yarn, and just it's nice to have something that's a memento like that, and a good way of using up the scraps. So that's one of the things I'm making each year. And then the very first advent calendar I did the Land of Sweets Cowl by Helen Stewart, because my theme was Quality Street, so it worked in very well with that. It's a lovely one. It works for 10 gram minis, sock minis or 4-ply minis, so it was a lovely one to use, and I had enough left over that I was able to get 2 little pairs of socks as well as the blanket, so I was really pleased with that. So that was the very first year. That was what I made, and it's a lovely pattern, really easy, the Land of Sweets Cowl, and it sits nicely when it's on as well. It's lovely. I'll put it on just because sometimes I think it's nice to be able to see what things look like when they're on. It's nice without being super tight, but it's cozy enough that your neck doesn't get cold either, because I don't really like really big baggy cowls. I just like cozy. So that's that one. Then year 2 I did the Dust of Snow wrap. I didn't use mohair in it because I had sparkly yarn and I wanted to kind of just let it stand alone on its own. So this one is also by Helen Stewart, and it's a really nice easy pattern, but keeps you going. And because you're doing each section, you just want to keep going, or I did. I'm very much a change colour and keep going kind of person, rather than working one item all in one colour. I have done once or twice, but I think these projects always go much faster. So it's a lovely one to do. And then, yeah, I just had enough left over to do the, actually I think I've got a little bit left over, but I haven't turned them into socks. Then my plan is eventually scrappy socks with all the leftovers. And the third year, I haven't woven in the ends of this because it's been sitting for ages, so I'm sorry about that, but it's, if I waited and did that just now, then I would never record this. So I thought it was time I got it done. It's like everything the podcast suffers, or because I haven't had time to weave in ends, and I think I can't show things. Like this blanket is another thing that's been waiting to be shown on the podcast. And I keep thinking, oh, I can't possibly show it without the ends woven in. So I'm just embracing the imperfections just now so that I have something to share. So this jumper is the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits, and I just wanted something that I could work the colours as I was going, because I knew it kind of blended together but wouldn't be like a true fade as such, but I just wanted something kind of colourful and fun. So the way I worked out how many rows to do, I worked out the gauge, that I could meet the gauge, then I worked out the length that they said and worked out how many rows that would be, and then divided that by 24 colours for the sleeves and for the body, and then I knew how many I needed to knit per colour. And it was really good fun. It was nice to use it in a jumper. I want to do that with more of my advents. I've got I definitely this next year want to be making more garments, because I'm at that stage. I've got so many scarves and shawls and things. There's a limit to how many I can wear, much though they are the things I grab in general when I'm wanting a project to work on. I want to this year to focus on more garments. So eventually, when I get the ends woven in on this, it'll be nice to have something I can wear that's just a bit different. Yeah, so pretty much any jumper pattern I think you could probably turn into an advent one if you just can work out your gauge and how many rows you need. It depends on how good the designers are really as to how much information are in their patterns. Tin Can Knit ones are fantastic because they're always really well laid out, all the information you need, and I really love them for that because it's so simple. You just know that you're not going to have a problem when you get started, which is great. So that was my third advent calendar, and as I said, the fourth one I haven't done anything with yet. Don't even know what to make with it, which is terrible. Usually I have a good idea of what I want to do, but I might divide it up into a couple of different things. So the second year's theme was the pantomime, the third year was radio times and television. This one was all kind of gifts and like the build up to Christmas and opening presents and all those kind of things. It was like there was lots of like Barbie themed and Rubik's Cube, going Christmas shopping and all those kind of things were all built into this. So the theme, sometimes when I do a theme, it's not been so much as a fade, it's been more of a individual colours for that theme to sort of represent them. So that's why at the moment I think I'm stuck with this one a little bit more as to what to make. So I might look for some individual patterns that I can maybe group 3 or 4 together to do something with instead. There's so many patterns out there and so much potential that I think it sometimes feels very overwhelming. It's nice to watch other people and see what they've made and get ideas, but sometimes the yarn just doesn't suit certain things. Even if you think it will, when you start going, you just think, well, I know in my gut, like it's just not right, and then I have to start again. So I don't want to do that with that one. I just want to find the right thing for it. but I will eventually. We all do. And if not, it can just sit and stash until we're ready. That's the great thing. It's not going to go anywhere or do anything, is it? So those are the main Advent ones that I've done so far. I did another dust of snow wrap just with normal sock yarn a while ago. I just picked minis out my stash and did it, and it was great fun. I'd like to do one eventually with the mohair or fluff incorporated, just to see how much cozier it is, but it's a lovely one to, it's not heavy to wear, even though it's a good size. It's just lovely to drape around you and be cozy. I love shawls and cowls and things for when I'm out walking the dog or on the school run and things. I think it's just nice. I'm always cold, so it's nice to be wrapped up warm. So I've got a couple of patterns on my website. Well, this one on my website, which is my original Scrappy Advent cowl. I picked 24 5-gram minis a long time ago, or Scrappies, and did this one, like one colour each day for Advent. It was really easy to do, really achievable in that time, because it doesn't take long at all. And I just kind of picked colours that I liked. So it's a great one for using leftovers. It's a free pattern on my website so that you can download. But if you were just starting out and you just wanted something that, you know, like if you had a 10-gram Advent, it's your first year doing it, this one's super easy for you to work on during the lead up to Christmas, or to finish off just after Christmas if you haven't got time. And then you could do like little scrappy socks or a hat, or there's lots of options out there that you could use up, because I know sometimes it can be intimidating because you feel you want something special, but it's just nice to have a project that you have in your hands that you've made, rather than worrying too much, even though I'm saying about that other bag of stuff that I just don't know what to do with. I think I've gotten to that stage now of think about it too much, about like what I want to do, and it's hard to know. Whereas I think sometimes if you just think, right, I'm just going to do it, get something made, then it's great because you enjoy it and you can get the benefit out of it. Or you could make, if you had a 10-gram one, you could make one for a friend and one for yourself, and then you know you've got a present made as you're going through December, and it's super easy. So that's as I said, free on the website, so you can download that. Then I have 2 other patterns that I've used, which use 12 or 15 colours, so you could use some of your Advents if you just want, like, have certain ones that you really love and you want to keep the other ones for something else. This one is done with double knitting yarn and the Yak Cloud base, which I've got on my website, but you could do it with any fluff, really, any lace weight fluff. It's super cozy. I'll put it on so you can see. It's super cozy, but again, it's not tight. It just sits like around your neck, so it's lovely under a jacket, really cozy, but it's not uncomfortable. It's just lovely and cozy. And it uses 12 20-gram minis of double knitting weight, and then a skein of the fluff. So it's perfect for like half of a double knitting Advent if that was what you wanted. Because again, it's hard to know what to do sometimes. And then this one is actually using 5 grams of sock held double with the suri silk base. So this one uses 15 colours, but you could adapt it if you wanted. I mean, you could do all 24 if you wanted a really big squishy cowl. This one I'm designed it to be a bit looser because I know some people don't like it even sitting here. They prefer it to be super loose, but it's very adaptable. Just work out roughly. You could use like a bit of wool to work out roughly how big you wanted, and then measure that and measure your cast on and see if it's about the right size. Yeah, so these are 5-gram ones, perfect for leftovers. So those 2 patterns are on Ravelry or Payhip on my designs, and they're so cozy. This one always gets a lot of attention at festivals because it's so soft. They both do actually, but the double knitting one's a newer one, so it's only just, people are only just seeing it recently, but this one's super popular, especially because it kind of, with the like the blend, it mutes the colour slightly more. So if you're not somebody that likes brighter colours, it's a good one to use. Or if you like the slightly darker silvery tone, because the Yak Cloud is a grey base, so it's really nice and deep, the kind of colour that it blends in. So that's potentials if you were looking for something else. If you have seen me for a while, you'll know how much this shawl is like a favourite of mine. This is the Make Your Own Luck shawl by Lisa Ross, and it uses 10 20-gram minis plus 100 grams of the main colour. And it would be a good one to do with Advent colours if they weren't too variegated. I'm not sure how the variegated would look. It probably would look lovely if you had a dark solid or something that for contrast, or yeah, if it was deeper colours like this, you could do the lighter contrast. But I think if you've got sort of, some people tend to do more, not solid minis, but you know, the kind of more tonal minis, that's the word I'm looking for. So something like this would be a good option for using sort of 10 of those if you, again, if you're happy to split up your Advent. Some people, sometimes they kind of come almost in like sets. I've seen a few yarn dyers do them like sets of 5 that blend together, but you could have them as standalone, so you could do something like this with that. And that would look really nice. What else have we got? This one is Rainbow Wings, again popular on the stall at festivals, but it uses 12 10-gram minis, sock minis. So depending on how your colours were, you could do something like this, and I think that would look really lovely. You could pick out 12 of your favourites, or 12 that sort of have enough contrast between them, or mix with yarn in your stash already. So this, yeah, Rainbow Wings by Mina Phillips. It's a really lovely one to do as well. And then the last suggestion I have is this, which is the Flipside Tee by Tanis Lavalley. So it uses 10 20-gram minis, sock minis. Well, I did size, I think size 4 was the one that I chose, so that made this tee, and I was slightly tight for yarn around here, this row, because it does the cuff on the sleeve as well, so I think I ended up 1 row short, but that was because of the base that I'd chosen, which is the bronze base, and it's slightly shorter on yardage. So if you went for the normal sort of standard sock, which is slightly more yardage, I think you should be fine. But it's adaptable. Tanis has it written that you could adapt how many rows you do for the stripes, so you could potentially use 12 to do it, or you know, whatever suits you best. So I thought I would mention it as an option because it's a really nice t-shirt to do. Worked up really quickly as well. As I said, when there's lots of colour, I think things always work faster. So that's my suggestions. This blanket I did with some club yarns and Advent yarns from Lay Family Yarn. I finished it early this last year, but I haven't shared it. But it was holding undyed yarn and a mini skein double, and then making each square and then just joined them together with undyed afterwards. But it worked up really quickly, and it was great for like a portable project because it's only the joining that's kind of bulky. Other than that, you can just take them with you and work on it when you're busy, so it was a really nice one to do. Plus it's made it quite a bit paler than it could have been, which is nice for a change because I am usually a bright colour person, so sometimes it's nice to have a change. Apart from that, I don't have any. I'm going to do a blog post or two with pattern ideas. There's always new ones being released, which is great, but I've had one sitting ready to go for a while, and then I saw lots of new designs and I thought I must get that added, so I'm going to try and do that in the next couple of days. So if you have any patterns that you definitely could recommend, and then I'd love to hear about it because it's always nice to get suggestions. I like to make my own samples so that I can definitely recommend patterns myself. A lot of people use sample makers and things to do it, which is lovely. It would be great to have 100 designs that I could have on the stand to recommend to people, but I like to be able to say, yes, I've made this and I know if there's like a problem, or if I know if someone gets in touch with me with a question, I can help them. I like to be able to do that. I like to say, yes, this is definitely a good pattern and great fun to make, and you'll manage it, because I know myself, sometimes you get recommendations and then you try something and you think, I'm just not happy with it. So, or I hear of other people doing that, so I like to know myself. But if you've got recommendations, I'd love to hear them, because it's great to know other people have good feedback about it. Patterns are so much fun to look at, but I think sometimes, like, I have a lot in my library and it's just trying to find something that's just going to be right. It's hard to kind of, when you're investing your time and your energy into something, isn't it, that you want to know that you're going to enjoy it. So yeah, recommendations would be lovely. The last things that I've got to share today are socks that I have been making, or made ages ago, but still are waiting on heels. So that's part of my plans for this month, is to put the heels in on them. So I've got the yarn for them stored in here. So this one was London House Yarns, as was this. I think this was a Honeydukes colourway or something. I think so, and this was like a Christmas at Hogwarts. But I love her striping yarns. I haven't seen her do any updates for a while, but I really love her striping yarn. So these are waiting on heels. I'm hoping I can get that done for December, so that I can actually wear them at some point in the Christmas season. And then these two are the Yarn Badger. She does an advent colourway each year, or one that's 24 colours anyway, that you can knit each day. So she did, excuse me while I put the ends in, this one was a carousel colourway. So again, I've got the heels to put in this, and this one, I can't remember what this one was called, but I love this. The colours are great. They're all lovely, but this one was one of my favourites. So I need to put the heels in on that. But Liz is lovely. I've got so many of her yarns in my stash that I need to knit up. I've got great ideas of what to do with them, but it's just finding the time. And then the last one is Giddy Yarns Christmas tree one. I think, was it Grandma's Christmas tree? I can't remember. I should know, but I can't remember. So again, got the yarn for the heels there. So if I can get those done, that'll give me 5 new pairs to wear for Christmas, which would be lovely. And definitely a brighter addition, because a lot of the socks in my collection already are duller kind of colours. They're ones that were commercial socks, and I haven't got very many bright colours. They're just ones that I picked up at the start when I started making socks. So I just want to get some nice colours to add. It'd be lovely to have. And the other thing that I thought I would share is that I always pick up a Christmas tin. I usually get like one from Sweeties or something. The next year I use that for putting a project I'm working on, but this year I got this one, which I love. And my treats will not be sweets, they'll be yarn. So I don't know what project I'm going to put in that at the moment. Probably my own advent calendar, just so that, because I can have them all wound and in there ready to go. But yeah, tins are a big thing for me. If you followed me for a while, you'll know that. And then this one was last year's, which has some socks in it waiting to be finished off. So once I get them done, that'll be another tin that I can use for something. I love project bags, and I definitely use them when I'm going out and about, but tins are my thing. So yeah, do you have any traditions or things that you use for storing, like tins or whatever boxes that you like? A lot of the advents come in like these fancy boxes, but I don't know, I'm not so keen on them. I tend to use something that's easily recycled when I'm sending out my own advents. Whereas those boxes aren't, because they've got foil on them, or like foiled writing, and they have like magnetic strips and things, so they're not so easily recycled. So I tend to avoid them. Just my personal preference, but if I could send tins with the advents, I definitely would. But that would make it very difficult for postage. So until I find a way that I can find nice tins, I can do that. I won't be able to do that yet, but maybe one day. But yeah, I'd love to hear your preparations for Christmas, what your plans are. Everybody's different, and we all have a different kind of schedule for the month, so I know it's not always possible. Some people prefer to watch Vlogmas after Christmas. I do too, actually. When I'm once I get back into working on January, I tend to have it on because it's just nice to have something, because Christmas is such a blur, I think, especially when you've got family and kids to kind of look after, and yeah, it's not always easy to fit it all in and feel like you're coping with it all. But if you've got any plans or traditions that you do, I'd love to hear about them. Okay, so I'm going to record the next video for putting up on the 2nd, which will be done today, for opening the advents, because as I said, I don't want to spoil anything. But again, I'd love to know what advents you've got this year, because it's just nice to hear what ones are out there and that you're enjoying them. And if you've got any plans for patterns as well, please let me know. That would be great. Okay, bye.